The increase of Chinese students in the country. The Interagency Committee on Foreign Students will meet today to discuss this matter. The Bureau of Immigration said the committee will address the influx of Chinese students into Cagayan City. Based on BI's record, around 1,500 students' visas were granted to Chinese nationals in Cagayan. However, only 485 of them were enrolled and the number of on-site students are less than 100. Some lawmakers raised concerns over the rise of Chinese students in Cagayan, where there are two Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement or EDCA sites.
Now, to get more information about this, we have immigration spokesperson Dana Sandoval on the line.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning po.
All right, thank you for joining us today. So, first question, have we also started an investigation into the rise of Chinese students in Cagayan, and if so, ano po ang ating initial findings?
Yes, that's part of the things that we are looking into dito sa ating records natin. One thing that we've noticed is, yes, tumaas po yung bilang ng Chinese nationals in Cagayan. But in the side of immigration, nakita po natin that they were all endorsed by a legitimate school, which is accredited by CHED. So we see no concerns on the issuance of their visas. But on the same time, of course, nagbabago ang landscape natin with the rising tension or the concerns on our relationships with other countries. That's why on the meeting later with the Interagency Committee on Foreign Students, we are requesting that the security assessment be added as a regular agenda of the interagency, kasi we see that it's important for the intelligence agencies to know what's happening, and maybe they can see some trends that might be very useful for the investigation.
Now,
Yes,
sorry.
idugtong ko lang to Miss Dana, kasi Dana, no, nasabi niyo po 1,516 nga po yung Chinese nationals na nag-grant po ng visas in Cagayan. Pero dun po, according sa report natin, meron pong 485 lamang, no, as of April, that are currently enrolled with the, dun po, so 96 on-site with student visa. Sasan po yung iba?
Doon po sa verification natin on the ground, yung program po kasi na ini-implement nung school is distance learning. So what they do is they initiate the program by coming here, they getting their visas, and then they fly out to continue the program online. So what they do is they submit their requirements through the internet, and kapag kakailangan nilang pumunta sa Pilipinas, usually for thesis defense or for graduation or for any other requirement, it is only then that they fly back to the country. So on-site, mas mababa dun sa mga inisyuhan ng visa kasi most of them are out of the country.
Yes, Dana, no, I'd like to ask also, ano ba ang pinaka-requisite or ano po yung requirements na kailangan ng isang estudyante para mabigyan ng student visa? Kasi I think one of which is, you said, I think in a past interview, you were saying that they have to maintain a certain grade para ma-maintain yung visa or else maka-cancel ito?
Yes, as part of our monitoring, yan po ay tinitingnan natin for their renewals. When they're renewing their visa, we look into their grades, past 2 semesters or kung trimester yung 3 trimesters nila, to see if they are failing or they have consecutively not attended their classes. If they have not lived up to those standards, then we deny their extension of their visas. And we order them to leave the country.
Now, yung mga students that are under the distance learning program, do they really need the student visas, or hindi ba pwede, kasi since they're only here for graduation and submission of some documents, hindi ba they only need to be in they stay in China and that's where they study, so hindi ba ibang klaseng visa na lang pwede bigyan sila?
So far kasi in our law, kung student, we only have 9F student visa.
Okay.
Basta estudyante po ng higher
So
education.
regardless kung may
That's
physical
also
body na required sa university?
Yeah, since they
Okay.
go here, so I think they are also required student visa. But that's also one thing that we're going to raise dun sa interagency meeting later,
Okay.
to have a clear guidelines on distance learning and online programs. I think ito yung on the rise after the pandemic, and it's one of the reasons why nagkakaroon ng mga questions about it. So there has to be clearer guidelines on the implementation of distance learning for all members of the interagency.
Okay.
Yeah, may mga nagsasabi po kasi na itong investigation na gagawin or ginagawa regarding nga po sa rise of Chinese students ay tinatawag po nilang xenophobic. No? What's your take on that?
I don't think we are targeting naman specific nationalities, but it's more of an effect siguro of the issues that we are having with our relationship with other countries. Siyempre, when there's a change in the relationship with a different country, nagkakaroon ng change of policy. In the same way, kapag good ang relationship natin with that country, we get visa-free privileges sa kanila. They also have reciprocity, which we also give them visa-free privileges sa atin. So every time that there's a change in our relationship with our country, nagkakaroon ng adjustment doon sa assessment measures natin in how we assess the visa application.
Some are saying na kaya lang naman nabigyan ng pansin to is because of the tensions recently with China regarding the West Philippine Sea issue. But for context, no, is this the year or these last 2 years yung nakikita natin may highest number of Chinese students in the country, specifically in the area of Cagayan? Or may ibang taon na ganong kadami din ang mga Chinese students tayo?
Actually, for last year, mas mataas talaga yung for 2023 compared to the previous years. Kasi during the pandemic, halos wala talaga, just a handful of individuals were issued visas. So, may spike talaga ng 2023 because after the pandemic, after the country marketed the Philippines as an educational tourism hub in Asia, medyo tumaas talaga yung bilang ng mga foreign students here.
Okay, isa po sa mga mandato po ninyo ay ma-monitor nga po ang visa compliance itong mga foreign students. No, I'm not just saying Chinese but all foreign students here in our country. And I was wondering kung how do you guys monitor yung kanilang mga activities to make sure na hindi po wala pong koneksyon or hindi harmful po sa ating security, state security yung kanilang mga ginagawa.
Yes, yun po yung magiging role natin sa interagency. That's why we're raising it po. Since each of the agencies na parte po ng Interagency Committee on Foreign Students, may kanya-kanyang role po yan on monitoring the activities of foreign students here in the Philippines. Si CHED would be monitoring the compliance of the schools doon sa pagkuha ng mga foreign students. Kami on the visa aspect, if they are really studying here in the Philippines. NBI and NICA naman, or on the security aspect, if there are individuals there that may pose as a threat inimical to public safety and security. So each one of us has a role to play in terms of monitoring foreign students. And that's one thing na mapag-uusapan later during the interagency meeting.
Yeah, Dana, last question lang siguro for my part. No? You were mentioning you're going to have a meeting pa naman to clarify all the details. But ang question ko is, meron ba kayong quota as to how many student visas you're allowed to grant for yung foreign
For the
students natin? It's
year,
because a lot have been asking na baka maagawan daw ng opportunity yung mga deserving din na ibang Filipino students for enrollment in these areas.
Yes, by law po, dun sa EO 285, ang maaari pong mag-aral na foreign students dito is 1/3 of the population of the school. So that is being monitored by CHED. Yung compliance naman ng paaralan dun sa mga batas natin. Yun po yung requirements for schools. But siguro on the security aspect, syempre concerned din ng intelligence community if there are increase in certain areas of certain nationalities. There are areas that need to be more secure secure than other areas. That's why I think there's really a need for us to share our data ng real time para nakikita nila kapag may mga tumataas or bumababa ng mga certain nationalities that they are on the lookout for.
All right, thank you so much for your time, Immigration Spokesperson Dana Sandoval.
Thank you and good morning.
Yan, at least
So,
meron.
umiinit kasi yung mga ano na yan eh.
At least meron
yung
na
mga
klaro.
connect-connect.
Medyo klaro, 1/3 of the population
Of
of the
the
school.
school, each
so,
school,
ang gagawin mo pala is, you take a look at each school. You're supposed to take not the whole picture. Kasi baka some people are adding up yung numbers from all the schools altogether. But if they're within the 1/3 pala of the certain school, kunyari sa Cagayan, I think it's St. Paul. No, so 1/3 of the population, how many are foreign, how many are Filipino, 'di ba? Titignan mo doon 'yon. Oo, kasi medyo ang dami ng kanya-kanyang ano eh.
We have to be careful.
Interpretation
diba?
yeah.
Sa pag-iimbestiga para hindi naman ito nga matag na xenophobia.
Anyway, they have a meeting daw later, to clarify
Oo.
details. Ano ba ang magiging patakaran ng CHED, ng Bureau of Immigration regarding foreign students, the influx of foreign students.
Tsaka 'di ba kung dapat ba silang magstay ng ilang days dito kung ano lang naman.
Kasi ilan lang naman
kung graduation or submitting work
Kasi
permits,
ilan lang ang
iba-iba
ano daw eh, ilan lang ang on-site, the granting student visa, ilan lang ang pumapasok. Puro distance learning. Eh yung mga ibang students, tulad yung mga Filipino local students natin, pumapasok sila araw-araw. So parang, ano daw, medyo hindi daw ata fair sa iba. But let's take a look at these issues further.
They have to also check the details nung sa sinasabi din sa Cagayan. Ito yung pumutok na issue sa Cagayan.
Kasi may
diba,
EDCA site doon eh.
May EDCA site. At saka yung sinasabi nila na dapat pala fluent sa English yung mga estudyante na pupunta doon.
Pero may mga hindi daw fluent
Pero most of the students that were there, the foreign students that were there, are not that fluent in English. So, paano daw? Yun kasi graduate school hindi naman to high school or simple college lang din, diba?
Kung graduate school, by that time, dapat magaling ka na mag-English.
Tignan natin.
Yes.